Hi Joshua, good morning. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Um, I'm quite stressed.
Yeah,
Um, but but uh, but things are good. Okay. Um,
yeah.
um, there's a lot going on here. We are doing this streaming on Discord inside of Ori. Usually we just have these calls um,
Yeah.
privately and then we record them and we put them out. But today um, we have an audience, which is new. And also we have Paula, who's still trying to fix the camera, but she'll come in a second as a special guest. Um, Paula's the newest person in Ori. Um, and I had a lot of things I wanted to talk to Paula about, but there's other things I guess we'll have to talk about first.
We're
Um,
gonna be juggling.
yeah. But, um, but yeah, and I know I've asked Benjamin to confirm multiple times, but let's do it one more time. Benjamin, if you
The
still hear
stream
us.
paranoia is real.
I do like having like I mean also the live audience just to like check if you guys are still.
Chat, can you hear us?
I think the answer is
I think
yes.
that. All right. Hello.
Good morning. We're starting again. Um, all right, and I can see your screen here.
Yeah, haven't shared yet.
Okay,
Cool.
okay, let's do that so I can see it.
Window podcaster call. There we go.
All right, we got slides this time. It's a lot different this time, um, including we have a little bit of a live audience on Discord here.
Yep.
Um, Usually we just record these and then we put them out. Um, but okay, Alex confirmed audio's good. Sweet. Okay, so the actual agenda is on uh, slide 2. And I guess I am controlling these, right? Yeah. Right. There's the Brent Dill case, and then there's the paying people that you work with case. Um,
Do we? Okay, so you have receipts.
so I wanna, yeah, let's just kind of warm up here. I'm
Yeah.
calling this like full pregame. Um, and that's it. Maybe just to give you my emotional state here. This is a DM from this morning. This is
Hmm.
me responding to someone who was like checking in on me, and I'm like, did I say this here about feeling like I'm suffocating? I think I said it in the next one. Yeah, I'm not feeling great, but I feel like I think good things appear to be happening.
Yeah.
I've had like the maybe the title of this thing should be I've been receiving a lot of feedback in the last 24 hours.
Feedback.
A lot of feedback.
A lot of feedback.
And also a lot of feedback about my ability to receive feedback.
Hmm.
Um, but like I talked to Leanne about a bunch of stuff last night, like unrelated to any of the internet stuff, like about my personal life and our relationship.
Yeah.
Um, so like I don't know, like I want to, and we'll see how far we get into like the Brent Dill case. But there's also like my own life uh, thing, and there's a lot of stuff that's coming out about that, and I feel a bit cathartic
Hmm.
about it. And actually, there's a thread I wrote, by the way, and maybe put somewhere of my notes here. These are notes live. Originally, I had written a thread. I think that got cut out of the what I posted, where I said we've we've actually already had a lot of incidents in Ori, a
Hmm.
lot of like bad incidents, like and like most like actually I'm thankful most of them have come out, but there's still more. There's still more skeletons in the closet. By the way, guys, just want to broadcast that to everyone. It goes deeper. But before we get there, I'm not ready to reveal those yet, I guess. But the important thing I was going to put in that thread, which I
We
deleted.
got Paula trying to join. Let's see if we
Yeah,
can
let's get Paula.
get her.
She'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hey,
Paula. You're here.
we can hear you.
Yeah, 1 second.
I think is an echo coming from her side.
Yeah. Let's see.
Now?
I think.
How about now?
So your audio is not going to your thing, or maybe it is. Hello.
My
Hello?
audio?
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
finally.
Okay, Paula, you're
Okay.
here as a kind of a live audience member. So I'm gonna keep going, and then feel free to sort of ask questions in chat or interrupt. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going. All right.
Jump in whenever you want.
Yeah. Okay, I'm talking about the thread I wrote about the Brent thing, and one of the things that I think I took out. I don't think it's in there, but I had this statement. I said there's already been a lot of incidents in Ori, but the people who were hurt have chosen to not publicly disclose those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of phrased it very specifically because it's like I wanted them to, and I hoped they would tell people. And I think they did. I think they told their friends and people they knew about, like, this Ori thing looks great from the outside, but actually I was in there and I was like, I called them Ori alums. They're not outcasts, but I mean, I don't know if flame. Like, I don't know. There's a lot. There's people who came through Ori and then left, and some have had good experiences. Some have had pretty bad experiences.
Yeah.
And like basically they. So I'm focused now on people who have had bad experiences, and I wanted them to say the following. I wanted them to almost make this public statement. It's like, oh, it looks like on the outside, but actually I was in there. Bad things happened to me. Here's what happened. I advise you not to, advise caution or whatever it is they want to. Like the ideal thing is, like, if you're susceptible in this way, if the same thing might happen to you, then don't. If this doesn't apply to you, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
But I haven't been able to get that feedback publicly. This kind of calibration. This is supposed to be what the anatomy of an internet argument game thing is supposed to be about. It's about public conflict mediation. This is what the Gimme Coffee shop story in Ithaca, New York, was the whynot.com thing. This is what this was about. We talked about this in the last one. Wait, are you connecting? Does that make sense, Joshua?
I'd be really curious what these people would say about why they didn't want to have the conflict. Like,
Well,
they didn't want
So this is it. This is the big thing for me. My big learning in the past 24 hours is because they've come out. They've come out and said things, and this
Couple of them,
includes. And I want to like put people on the spot, but I'll talk about people who are like I'm still in haven't they're still in Ori. So for example, like Kat.
Yeah.
Like Kat shared a lot of negative criticism that she hadn't shared before, and that I wasn't sure how she felt about. I wasn't sure how she felt about her work in Ori.
Right.
And it was kind of cathartic for me to sort of hear that, because I was like, we were asking like why hasn't you shared it before? So this is the thing that came from Leanne last night. She said, have you made it clear that you are safe to give feedback to? And I was like,
I got a question.
yeah.
Piggybacking on that, do you give feedback?
Do I give feedback?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Which actually was. I think they're like related here. I mean, I'm trying to get
Yeah.
more. This is a new change where I'm giving more direct
Yeah.
feedback.
Can I
Go
say
ahead.
something?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Maybe you should have some sort of policy or schedule that you have times when you expect people to come in and give you feedback. Or you can use a system for people to give you anonymous feedback if you don't.
Hmm.
Because there are some things that people may not want to say to your face. But if you have a link where they can share something, well, if it's a small group, you can probably sometimes guess who it comes from. But they can
Right.
try to make it very general or in a way that you won't be able to
Right.
know
I
who
mean,
said that.
I want to pile on that. It's like if you create an environment that's excessively positive, people feel really, really bad about being the one to say
I
something
think that's
negative.
it. I think that's actually it. Like in Ori, it's like, oh, everyone loves this defender character, and so if you're like defender, you're fucking up right now.
Is that why you brought me in?
Well, actually, so this is actually Paula is willing to say that. Paula would
Yeah.
say, "This is stupid. What are you
Love
doing?
Paula.
Stop it!" And I'm like, okay. And actually, it does hurt. I'm very sensitive to these things. It's not like it doesn't hurt, but the important thing is that I change the thing that we hear it and we make the change.
Yeah.
My problem. And this is sort of I want to say this is an excuse. This is not like. Also, Paula, can you mute when you're not talking to students? Thank you. My excuse has been that I'm so transparent, and I also like cede power whenever anyone steps up. So if somebody just says like, "Step aside, I'm taking over," I'm
You're like a
gonna do
leaf
this.
in the wind.
Yeah. So I'm like, how can you be mad at me if I'm not? I'm not stepping anyone's way. I'm only here running these projects because nobody asked me to, but people seem to be waiting for someone to do the work, and so I'm just showing up and doing the work. If literally anybody who steps up, and actually to a fault, like I don't think this is actually a good thing to be doing, but I'll just step aside and be like, all right, you think you can do better, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Let's find out.
So it's responsibility without ownership.
Yes. It's a responsibility.
The extreme opposite case of this, I don't know if this is still true, but they had stories about how in China, if you try to help somebody who's is a good Samaritan, like they can sue you and win. It's like you helped me and now I'm disabled for life. So there's like they'll just let people die on the street. Don't know if that's true ever.
No, this
anymore.
is real. We were talking about this last night, and this is related to the coffee shop thing, where like the Paula, to catch you up, the gist of that story is in Ithaca, New York here. Basically, there's a problem in a common space that's been a problem for like over a year, and nobody seems to have done anything about it. And I kind of like stepped up to try to do something about it, but I was also asking like, why has no one done anything about this? One of the conclusions was there's a risk to trying to make things better. If you step up and try to fix something in the common space, and you do it poorly, or you're not good, you don't fix it right, and bad things happen. Whose responsibility is that? Actually, I think this is actually a pretty important thing. Like nobody, like it was not my responsibility in the first place to fix that door in the coffee shop. But I stepped up anyway. In that case, it went well. It went great. The door was fixed, and then everybody was happy, and then people around town were like, "Oh my God, congratulations!"
It's just a sign.
I know, but people really felt.
No, I mean, it's like it's generally an innocuous intervention.
But it's the pattern of the bigger thing, because there's bigger things that I am doing in Ithaca and that I am doing on the internet, and.
But imagine that that's a fire exit, and the sign creates an acknowledgement of liability, and then you I
I might have caused this business by putting up the sign to get like a fine or a ticket or like some kind of like a punishment.
Drawing attention to the thing that they're not actually legally allowed to do or whatever.
Right.
Allegedly, I don't know.
So this is actually it. Like I don't like, and this actually ties into the Brent story, by the way, which I don't know how much Paula's caught up. But this I can kind of like summarize the whole thing pretty simply. With this frame, which is I'm sitting here in Ori, and someone shows up, and it's not my responsibility, nor is it my problem. Like, who's this guy? I don't know. We're on the open internet, and people DM me all the time with crazy stories, and asking for help, and asking for money, and I don't really turn anyone away. I always try to figure out what to tell them at the very least. And so but this is it. Like can we talk about that? I want to get both your opinions on this. Like someone DMs you, and asks you for like help or advice or just anything, and you give them some advice. And now what happens in each of these cases? They become super rich and famous, and this is like they take your advice. In the first case, they become super rich and famous. The second case is like their life is completely destroyed because of your advice. And in the third case, actually, no, is there another case? I mean, like nothing happens, I guess.
They ignore it and move on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a sense in which like I mean, it's either like you benefit from that, or they benefit from that, or both of you benefit. I think those are the three cases. What do you feel here, like especially in this case, where like what is your responsibility?
Other people are responsible for their lives, but I tend not to give advice that requires them to do dramatically different things. So I'm not telling people, hey, you need to restructure your life and then it'll be great. I'm like, hey, this is what I would do. This is how I see it. I give it to them as something that they can kind of consume and reinterpret.
But what if that's exactly what they need, and the people in their lives won't tell them that? Because that's a problem that I see, that when you go to friends, sometimes they may not tell you the harsh truth because that may blow up the relationship, or they don't want to make you feel ashamed or something. And about people reaching out to you in DMs, I think that something that can help a lot is sometimes just giving people a safe space for them to tell you what happened to them, how it affected them, and for them to try to process it. Because even that can be something that works for them, that allows them to understand the situation better, and maybe they figure out the solution on their own. If not, I tend to share my perspective as well. If I know some advice or some resources, I can share that with them. But it is important to be responsible and try not to push them too much in one direction, unless they are in danger. So then I think you need to step in.
So I think this is it. I think and this is why at some point I was like, people, please stop DMing me. Nobody should be asking me for advice over DMs. You should just tag me in public. Why? Because what happens then is I say, I think you should do this, and then I publicly say that, and then others, there's one or two options there. Others say like, oh yeah, I've been in that situation before and that really helped. So yes, you should do this. Or they say like, Defender, what the fuck? This is terrible advice. You're gonna kill this man. Don't do that. Do this instead, because I did that and that really helped me. And I'm like, okay, now I learned. Now I figured out what doesn't work. And this, I think this has been very important, because actually I think the point Paula said about like, there's a lot of things that are like very, like why are people on the internet asking for advice instead of going to their friends and family? Like what's going on here? Part of it is that there's a lot of things that they don't have spaces to ask for, don't have spaces for. So they go on the internet. And then these people often find each other. And again, this anonymous forums, especially if it's like a new thing that a lot of people haven't experienced before, it can go either way. Our project here with this Ori thing is, I think what Joshua said at the beginning is like, you are responsible for your life. You're responsible for the things that you are committed to being responsible for. And otherwise, we all are just observing each other and learning from each other. I just think there's a lot of paths that people can take that. Okay.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
What do we owe each other? We're all strangers connecting on the internet, okay? Do we owe the people who reach out to us anything?
I think.
I feel like that's a personal decision. You decide.
Well, no, but actually, I think Benji, if he were here, he would say you don't owe them. You don't owe them. You're not responsible for them, which I think maybe Joshua would agree. I think you can help them, and if you help them, like that's good. But also like this is the tricky part, which I don't have a full answer to. The thing you mentioned about China, if you help them, like I think this is a real thing, and we can't just say like I can't say I'm not responsible at all, but also I'm not fully responsible. I think this still needs to be resolved. But let me just connect something to me here that pieces this together. About Paula's point about getting advice that you creating a safe space and getting advice that you don't have access to in your friends and family. So if we go back all the way here, this is something that most people in Teapot don't know about my history. When Defender showed up in Teapot in this new community, he was already famous in a different community. In fact, he's already exiled. I've already gotten exiled. Like I already gotten famous and then gotten exiled once before, and I got off the internet for like 10 years because I couldn't go anywhere without this. This has a Wikipedia page. Just this very famous project. Like everybody knew who I was, and so anywhere I appeared, they were like, "What happened with this?" And I couldn't be anywhere without people recognizing me. Until I found Tipa, this whole new part of the internet. And I felt like I could get a new start. Now, this ends in a lawsuit. It's happening next month in New York City. I sued him. I actually still don't know like who's in the right here, and so and part of this is that.
You should probably leave it at that.
Hold on, and this actually is very implicating. Like my lawyers definitely like don't talk about this.
I recommend.
Well, but hold on.
Then don't talk about this.
I'm not going to talk about. Hold on, guys.
Defender does everything out in the open.
I know why he says don't talk about it. I know.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about this lawsuit right now. I'm talking about the pattern behind it. There's mistakes that were made here that led to this big conflict in this big project.
Right, which we won't get into.
But then I went and started fresh in new community, and then Joshua.
Yeah.
The same thing happened again. It's just there's no lawsuits yet.
Allegedly.
Because it was a smaller scale thing. But this sort of showed me that like, am I the problem? Like, what is happening that's causing the pattern to repeat? Is it that I am bad at like, am I too trusting? Do I go into projects trusting the wrong people, or do I do something that triggers the bad things to happen to me, or is it somewhere in between, a little bit of both?
So far, to me, the pathology seems like wanting to live in this world where conflict can be worked out peaceably, without rupture, without damage. It's like, oh, okay, everybody's all right.
Well,
I
know I have it summarized in this one.
Great.
This is actually basically it. Like I need to figure out which one is correct here, and I'm glad everybody who feels like I should have paid them is coming out and telling them. But this is it. In my work and life and career, I've done a lot of work that has generated a lot of money and value for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And fame and fortune. And I didn't get paid for it. And I was bitter about that. And I was like, that sucks. And I told a lot of people, and people were like, that sucks, man. You shouldn't have trusted them. Or like, they gave me all sorts of, they were like, just don't trust people. Don't work with people on this kinds of things.
I think there's a nice middle ground there. It's like, work with people that you can trust. Right. And these are people who you can talk
Well,
about
but
the money, people who you can easily communicate about that stuff with. Like
well, but
there are trust
can you easily
signals.
know? Can you easily know who you should trust until you do it and you stick around with them for a long time? Because some people are very skilled at gaining your trust and
Sure.
using you and your connections to get what they want.
Yeah. No, there's so yes, you're totally right. And there's many ways of conning and manipulating people. There's a lot of potential for sophistication there. But the fascinating thing is once you've been around the block a few times, you can start to suss out who's trustworthy in what way, just from the way that they talk. And I have some cool stories about this. I think we got into this before. I was like working with a guy and he was like lying through his fucking teeth to potential partners and clients and whatever. And my girlfriend at the time asked me, I was like, oh, well, I'm hoping this goes through and I'll make, a good deal of money. And she just asked me point blank, can you trust him? And I was like, oh, he hasn't given me any reason not to trust him. He hasn't told me anything that seems fantastical. But then I took like 2 seconds that I realized he lied through his teeth right in front of me, saying like, oh yeah, our platform can do this and that. I was like, we haven't even built the platform. Like we're still working on it. And it was only normalized because I had also worked for a guy who would lie through his teeth like many years before. And so I was like, oh, you kind of have to, I would never do that, but maybe it's necessary here. And after I realized that, I was like, oh, I can't work with this guy. I told him, and he was like desperate to get me in there. And he's like, oh, well, what if I hire some other people and you just consult or whatever? And I was like, no, dude, I'm sorry. And he's like, well, I won't work with those guys. I'll sell to other people. I'm like, you're just going to lie behind my back now. Like, I can't trust you anymore. And then I heard from my friend who did end up working from him that he did not pay them on time. And my friend really had to twist, squeeze the knife. What's the metaphor?
I mean, but
there was a big nightmare.
so this is sort of good because there's like Paul, you were saying, you can't know until you sort of see them do the thing and sort of give them trust them, and then they sort of do the wrong thing. And in like Joshua, in your case, you saw him sort of lie.
Dodged a bullet.
Right. I'm saying like what happens next, both for that person but also for you. Like, I regret not talking about my move or die case. Why? Because the pattern happened again to a lot of other people, either with this specific person or and people who did know me would come back and like ask me like, how's your experience working with this person, what did you recommend or can or not, and then they got that information and they can use that to decide whether or not they want to work with him in the future. But it also happened to other people, like younger me, other people who would embark on these projects and have this sort of
Naive optimism, and then the same thing happened to them, and I'm like, this is fucked. It keeps happening over and over. Yeah. And I'm like, can we at least get the people who are burnt by it, receiver or perpetrator, and teach, and this is what I want, this is why I said this in this slide, I'm like, teach people how to not have this happen to them and how to protect themselves from it. Because in your case, for example, Joshua, there is a simple solution here. This guy, either, and this applies in general, but also applies like here, this guy who was trying to defraud potential clients, either he gets taken out of the business community, and this could be a civil case if like, there was sort of a trail from, or if you are going to work with him, he pays you up front. There's no, like, Paul, does that make sense? Like, you don't need to trust them. You like give them terms such that you expect that they will not follow through on their word, so they have to do something to sort of prove. I think you're fixated on making this work, and the fact for me is like, I don't want to work with somebody I can't trust, even if I've prevented them from burning me.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
forget about this case. Think about it in general.
Okay.
In any group or movement that is big enough, you will inevitably have bad actors sneaking in.
Right.
Yeah.
If it gets big enough, they will always show up.
Yes.
So then you have to ask yourself, how can we identify them? How can we signal to the people inside and outside if they are aligned with us and trustworthy or not? Because, for example, Defender, I think that people in your circle are people that are reliable and in good faith. And whenever I go on Twitter and I see someone that I don't know, that I don't follow, and you follow them, I think, oh, this is a good sign, this is a good person. But then again, every now and then, some of those people come to my account and they insult me, and they talk like really hateful people, and I think, wait a second, I thought these were good people. Because when you associate yourselves with them, it's like you give them a badge of honor. You say, I'm trustworthy, these people can be trusted, these people are safe. And if they are not, then you are doing a disservice to everyone else.
Yeah. The quality of the badge degrades.
I agree with this. Paula, do you know what Blood on the Clock Tower is? It's a game, social deception game, where you get 10 people in a room and 3 people are given a role where they're supposed to lie to everyone else, and you try to figure out who's lying.
Like Mafia?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
If I created a community, like Paul said, any community as it grows, bad actors start to come in, and the only question is not what happened, what if. The question is when they come, what do you do? I wanted to I didn't want people to let their guard down when this. To me, actually, this was the problem. It's I start finding a nice community, and then any good community that has high trust, any high trust signal is a lighthouse for bad actors to abuse. And this is a general marketing thing. If you find somewhere in the world that people pay attention to and trust, and they buy things because the person says buy these things because they're good and they are actually good, people start to try to put stuff in that channel, in that stream that is not good. So people always ask me, how are you gonna, this is the core to my work, and it's how are you gonna solve this marketing problem where people are lying every time? You can't be a good marketing person because it keeps failing this way. And I'm okay, I'm gonna solve it on the client side. Client side trust checking. What do I mean by that?
Client-side security is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
No. What do I mean by that? I mean, instead of you trusting,
Just go full blockchain and get it over with.
instead of people trusting, they're oh, Defender is good at curating, and so because Defender stamped this person, then I will trust them. It switches to there's a protocol, and you don't trust. It doesn't matter whether Defender says this or that, or who says it. It matters that if someone says, I trust this person for these reasons, now these reasons are visible, and now you can take that. If you see someone who's never been cataloged, then you perform the check yourself, and you document it. Now, when Paula, now let's say I do that. Now Paula comes in, Paula sees Defender already checked this person. She shouldn't trust that. She should try. In fact, maybe she shouldn't even see that Defender was the one who did it. But I think it should, because I could be doing it badly. But anyway, you see what the process was, and then you look at the signals in there. Yeah.
You've basically just said there's zero value in human trust networks. We should just all be validating on our own. So it's what's the point of even having friends in that case?
It depends on what you want to do. Do you want to be the kind of person that creates a community of trustworthy people or not? Because I want to be the kind of person.
Yeah.
Which means that I would want to push away horrible people who can mistreat others. I don't want to help them or enable them. But it depends on what you want to do as a person and what is your goal with your community.
Yeah. The more I hear from Defender on this, the more I think you're just trying to create a perfect protocol that invalidates the need for trust.
Well, but hold on. This to me, it's about this. Like, zoom in on the thing. Like, it's not that. It's actually very simple. It's not that the community trusts this person or doesn't trust this person. I want to say, like,
Right. Fuck the community. That doesn't matter. Do each of the individuals, like, we're completely ripping apart the bonds of community so
Like-
that the individuals can freely associate. And I'm just like, okay, so
But
you're
then
you're
what's
basically
the point of the community?
well,
you're throwing out millions of years of
No,
mammal
like-
mammalian evolution.
Okay, we have a concrete question to ask you, which is like, should you work with Defender? Like, and like Paula is here because she's just got onboarded in Ori, and I'm excited. And I think Paula's excited. She's got a lot of projects she wants to do, and the question is like, what should Paula expect? Should she leave? Should she stay? Should
I would
and
tell
what are
Paula, whatever you do, get it written down.
Okay, here's the question.
Yeah.
Now that I'm in Ori, should I trust the people in your Discord chat, or should I expect everyone to be a predator? What do you expect me to be? What do you expect me to do? Do you expect me to try to vet every person there, knowing that I've never had contact with 99% of them?
Right. So, okay, here's my answer. This is great, and I should write this down somewhere. When you come into Ori, it's like signing up for Twitter. So the question is, should you trust the people on Twitter? The answer is like
No. No, not at all.
Yeah, not unless they give you a reason to trust them.
So
And
what's the point of being an Ori?
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say. Then why am I here?
I have the answer. Hold on. Sorry. I mean,
This is the most like antagonistic call we've ever had, and I
But
love
this
it.
is good. Like and it's not enough, by the way, because like I mean, there are pitchforks out there, and I think they're a little too mean.
Yeah.
But they're not wrong, and that's why I retweeted one of them, Spacebunk, and Ben was trying to defend me, but I was like, she's not wrong. The things she's saying are true.
Yeah. Thanks for trying.
Okay, how do I put this?
Okay, so why should I?
Why
even
should
spend
I'm telling you?
time in Ori
Okay.
If I can't trust the people
here it
in
is.
there?
No, here it is.
Give him a second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in here, and in fact, there's a little HTML comment that I'm gonna see if I can dig up.
The open trust. Where's the trust?
Hold on, it's coming.
Yeah. So you're asking me to be a test subject without giving me any compensation.
Oh well, that's also okay. I mean, but there's that's not wrong. When you're in Ori, everyone in Ori is
It just sounds like free work.
I know, but also when you contribute to open source, like what are you doing? Like what about the people contributing to Wikipedia?
I'm
like,
solving my own fucking problems and just throwing the result out there. And then there's some people who are pathologically committed to the principles of open source, and like that's great. And a lot of them are disgruntled.
I feel like you didn't give him a chance to explain.
Right. So
Go
here,
on.
thank you, Paula. Okay, I would probably rephrase this to say Ori is a protocol for creating the largest trust network in your world. Okay, so what does that mean? It means the following. It means, okay, I'm basically saying how to create the cleanest. This is it. Okay, guys. Okay, this is it. I got it. I have created one product, one thing. I have one thing that I'm trying to sell or use or productionize or like apply. What is my thing? It is a protocol for how to clean a network. Okay?
Okay.
It means...
Let him talk.
I'm listening.
It means when you go work at a new company, let's say that's a big company like Google or whatever, or you move to a new town, or you enter a subculture, or any community. I have the answer to the question of like, how do you decide who? What is the question is, how do you decide who to trust? And I claim I have the answer. I have the optimal algorithm for deciding who to trust in a way that benefits. Okay, so and this is why I brought up the game Blood on the Clock Tower. You go into Twitter, or you go into Ori, or you go into anywhere, and you build a trust chain. Everyone in Ori comes in with one person that they trust, and it's the person who brought them there, and usually it's me. And from there, you shouldn't be trusting anyone. You should be building, like you come in, like look, you come into Ori with people you already trust. You have people in your world, in your life that you trust, and then I'm the new guy that you trust, and I'm showing you now the rest of the people that I trust. And and in this network is two kinds of people: people that I trust and people that I really don't trust. Like go back to like this move or die case.
Do you tell us who you trust and who you don't?
Yes. This may be the missing piece, or this is where like it should be default don't trust, but I should have a list of
So,
yeah.
hospitals have clean rooms. They have walls. They don't do surgery in the park. And when you say, like, trust chain, you're just piling all these people in. It's like, yes, I could assemble a trust chain in a noisy, messy information environment where everything I'm doing is exposed. Or I could just do it the easy way in private, where I control who comes in and who comes out.
But it depends what his goal is. If you want to figure out an algorithm to decide who you can trust and who you can't, you cannot do that in a hospital sterile room. So what is your goal?
Yeah,
That's
like,
great.
well,
and so that gets us to the crux of it. Defender is trying to create this algorithm, and he's doing it at the expense of the people that he's inviting in, who I think are not fully bought into that project and think it's something else.
Let me, Defender, you have to explain this to me. Do you have the algorithm to decide who people should trust or not? Or is this something you are trying to develop?
No, I have it.
Okay, tell me what it is.
If so,
let him talk.
part of it is very simple. There's a risk involved in trusting. Okay, here's just to make it concrete. I, as defender, go in. I trust this person, anyone who comes in, and if they betray or backstab or do something bad that's visible, and now I have that information, and so I guess the answer is like yes. I do tell people who to trust and who not to trust. I tell them why I believe that, which I guess is why everybody keeps coming to me for information. Okay, so I think I don't know if to answer your question. The answer to the question is it's stupid. It's basically I give them a chance. I give them a chance to do the wrong thing, and then if they do the wrong thing, I catch them, and now we know, and then and that's it.
Wait a second. So you don't have an algorithm. You have yourself, who is a person who observes others and tries to figure out who to trust, right? But you don't have a system for it. You just let people come around, you observe them, and based on what you notice and what you hear, you try to figure out who you can trust or not.
Well, I guess the system part is then if someone else like worked with this person and they say this guy betrayed me, now here what do you do in this case? Do you say okay, I'm not going to work with this guy, or you say maybe that's not a real report and I'll take my chances? What Defender does is the chain thing. It's like, okay, well, I know what the word of this guy means because I've observed him over months or years. So I know when he says, I don't trust that guy, why does he say it? Because sometimes people say, I don't trust that guy because it's an ideological difference, a political difference. And sometimes they say, I don't trust that guy because he did something bad.
Yeah, I got it. And
so, yeah.
different individuals can have different levels of discernment.
Yes.
Some people
Yes.
are better at reading others, some are pretty bad, so they can easily be manipulated and taken advantage of. But my point is, you don't have a system yet. I would love it if people would have a system to quickly figure out, when you meet new people online in real life, to quickly figure out, can I trust you or not, without having to invest weeks and months or having to talk to 10 different people to try to figure out.
I'd say the only missing thing is visualize. That's why I'm like, in the website now I say a priority is visualization software, because imagine a social network where Paula has every person that Paula's interacted with has a score of trust from 0 to 100.
From her or just period?
Like this is Paula's.
From everyone, I imagine.
Well, so yeah, everybody Paula has a list of 100 people, and each of them has a score. Joshua has a list of 100 people, each of them has a score, and so this defender, and it goes both ways, and that's it. So then so then here's the final piece. When you, okay, guys, this is it. When you look at someone's profile, what it should say is, Paula and Joshua, trust them to this, like across everyone that you trust.
I'm gonna burn your whole house down. I don't think trust exists.
Oh.
No, let him talk.
Okay, this is the system that I can design, I can code up, and we can make this happen. The thing I'm selling is my discernment. Why? Because let's say Paula now, because this is what I was selling as a service in 2025 for a while. An investor comes to me, and he says two things. He's like, here's two people. Let's say three people. I want to tell you guys, because this is actually the algorithm working. There's three people the investors are asking Defender about. One of them is famous, but everyone says don't trust him. Another of them is famous, and everyone says trust him. Another one is like nobody's ever heard of him. Okay. Now, the person who's famous, notorious, call him notorious. It could be they actually are not trustworthy. Like 90% says trust, 10% says don't trust. Wait, other way around. And this is flipped, and this one is there's no signal on it. What I do is I figure out like, okay, well, these 90%, I can tell the difference between they don't trust him because he did the bad things, or they don't trust him because again, this ideological thing, or for some other reason. Like what? Like I can figure out why. So then I can tell you, okay, Mr. Investor, tell me what it is that you want from him. Based on that, I can tell you whether or not you will get a good outcome or not. Because if you invest in him to do X, it's gonna blow up, and it's gonna be a huge damage, and bad things gonna happen. If you trust him to do Y, he can do Y, and he's done Y, and everybody actually agrees he can do Y. When they say don't trust him, they mean don't trust him for X, not for Y. So yes, Mr. Investor, I mean, this is all I have. This is my case. And now that you've asked me, if you're okay with it, I would like to make this, I think I don't even need to ask them. This is what I want to sell as a service. Background checks, and then when I make a background check on someone, I write it up publicly. And the reason I write it up publicly is because, okay, Paula, how does the investor know to trust me? What if I'm lying? What if I'm stupid? What if I'm gullible? Okay, the way the investor trusts me is that Defender posts the review. Defender posts what he thinks. This is the only fucking thing I have, by the way. Defender posts what he thinks. That's the only thing I have. Because then if you say like, okay, well, Defender sucks. Defender is stupid. When Defender trusts a million people, and they're often wrong. And so his signal, like you calibrate to Defender's signal now. But I cannot make my signal better unless I honestly post what I believe is true, and I just maintain that, and I listen to the feedback and I update. But if I don't understand, like I have to say what I think is right, and then. And
I think you're trying to do different things.
Okay.
Are you okay? You seem very worked up.
Yeah, I think this is like. the whole crux of it, and I appreciate getting a chance to see that. But yeah, ask me a question. What are you seeing here?
I want to say that thinking out loud is a great way to get feedback. I love that. But explaining in public how you vet people is you basically giving the manipulators the perfect recipe for them to manipulate you and everyone else. It's the reason why I hate talking about manipulation and dating tips and all that kind of stuff, because bad actors see that and they learn how to mimic trust and they learn how to fool people. Not everyone will be fooled. Maybe you won't be easily fooled, but every now and then you will end up interacting with a psychopath who will play mind games with you, and you will not know what to do with yourself, because these people exist.
I know they exist.
And you're helping them become better.
And Defender
You're part of the problem.
is helping them become better. And I like what Space Punk said, because she was like, it doesn't matter that you're trying to do good if you're making things worse.
You're basically an incomplete course of antibiotics.
Which is pretty bad. So, okay, look, this is where I come from. I had an experience with somebody who manipulated me and promised me everything, and I worked for 4 years of my life.
It's a long ass time.
It's a really big thing. I'm not gonna get into the whole thing, but the point is that after that, I was like, I don't know who to trust anymore. Because they looked, not only did they look trustworthy, but everyone else looks the same to me. I can't tell anymore. Because I can't tell who to trust now, I stopped trusting anyone ever again, and I got depressed. For 10 years, I was off the internet. I was not doing anything with online strangers. I was like, no more online strangers, no more of this. And I was sad, I was depressed. And then I guess, for whatever reason, I decided to start trusting again. And I was like, okay, but this time it's going to be different. What's going to be different about it? When I basically was like, I wanted things to be transparent so that when I start working with someone and they look trustworthy, because everybody looks trustworthy to me, I see their history, and if they have no history, I will be the first one to have history with them, and whatever they do to me will be public. Like the people come to Defender again because they ask me, what is your experience working with this person? And they know I will tell them. That's it. That's why I was like, that's the only valuable thing. I'm not the smartest guy. I'm like, I have a lot of people are like, well, what does this guy have to contribute? Why is he so popular? Why do people even listen to this guy? His ideas, he gets ideas from other people. Like all these things. I'm like, they're all true. I'm not that smart. I don't do. All I do is just say what I think. And when something bad happens to me, I say, this bad thing happened to me with this person. They're not an evil person, but maybe I'm the evil person. Also, by the way, and if so, I would like to change. But all I know is that I worked with this person and this happened. That's all we have. So you can make the decisions that you need to make. Because otherwise we're stuck. Otherwise I don't want to live in this world where I don't trust anyone. I don't want to live in this world where I can't trust the internet. And I have a vision of a beautiful world where like I something good happens in my city and I write about it, and then strangers on the internet tell me the answers that I need to help myself and my family and my life. And if I have the answers, and over in Egypt we solve the problems with my families over there, and then in California people take this, and then in wherever. And to do that we need to be able to expand our trust network without letting bad actors pop the whole thing. Okay, can I tell you guys one last thing? Because this is a real thing. This happened in Ithaca, New York here. Some people at Cornell have a community event open to all students and staff, and it's a beautiful thing that brings people together. Now, one guy started showing up. He's like an old guy, kind of a creep, and he was kind of hitting on the young women. And then what did Cornell do? They stopped having the events. They just closed up. They were like, we cannot trust the general public here, so sorry guys. And then the community fell apart because they didn't know how to stay open, because people came in trusting everyone, and then a bad actor came in, and then they didn't know how to filter for that. I think that's a sad, small world.
That's a bad scenario.
Yeah.
When, and I think that this is a problem that happens in churches as well, because churches are welcoming, everyone can come in, but that's a perfect place for predators to come in, especially because everyone tends to think, oh, these are good people, I can trust them, but that's how people get abused and scammed, and then the whole thing falls apart.
So I don't know if you saw this, but like that's why I'm like I don't actually know, like, what do I know about the Brent Dill case? What evidence do I have for or against? There's a general belief about it, and there's a lot of there's a million things, and I don't the third answer is like I don't know, and I haven't done my due diligence, and I haven't done these things. I'm trying to bring up. There's I think you guys saw it. There's a tweet where someone said, at least there was like a predator, and he got him fired from this one job. Where is it? I'll put it here.
Joshua, I think that you should also join in while Defender looks for it, because I kept trying to silence you so that we can let him speak, but I want to hear what you think.
I have I'm doing what I do best. I'm making a graph.
Do you want to show us? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Did you make the note that Defender would say, either it works or I'm gonna get killed?
Yeah.
Defender, probably.
All right, so I made this because I think one thing that we're
Can you
running
zoom
into.
in?
Can I zoom into this?
Or make it full screen?
Is it not?
You can present a slideshow.
Oh, okay.
Does that work?
There we go. Slightly better.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think one of the things is, like, for me, trust is about this axis, right? Is somebody oriented towards mutuality and trying to work with other people that are oriented toward mutuality, and like, look, we're going to engage in an interaction and we're both going to benefit. I'm not going to try to take more from you than you're getting from me. Or are they just trying to get ahead at any cost? And at the extreme end, like, this is psychopaths and abusers who don't really care or even have theory of mind about the other person. So that's trust. But then there's this other axis about, like, are you aligned with this person or not? And a lot of people get into relationships and get into working conditions with other people that have completely different values, different personality, different worldview, and they think that they're working with them and working towards the same thing, but they're not. They're working towards different things. And then at some point that becomes clear, and you're like, oh my God, I thought I trusted you, and now you're saying these things that don't even make sense to me. Versus if you're aligned, that doesn't happen as much. So, like, you could run into a situation where you're with somebody who's trustworthy, but your values don't align, and then you're like, oh, you're not actually trustworthy, you broke my trust, you betrayed me. And it's like, no, you didn't understand that they were different from you and working towards different things, even though you're in the same space.
Wait, but you get, this is what I said earlier, right, about, like, discerning the difference between, like, this is why you made the graph, like, because there's two, like, there's...
No, I think we're using the word trust a little bit too universally.
Well,
and it's like, yeah, go ahead.
What makes a person trustworthy?
That's why I was saying with the investor example, it asked
They're
me...
not going to stab you in the back when you're not looking.
Right, but
you were talking about alignment, right? If they are fit for a specific job.
Right. That's it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's predictability or reliability. That's not trustworthiness.
Well,
trust is you're not going to take from me just because you can.
Like,
that you see me as an extension of yourself, and you want to balance the relationship. There's a completely different axis from, can I rely on you to do good work that benefits our mutual
can I
goals?
tell you? Can I tell you guys something? Like,
sure.
Part of Ori. Okay, here's my real dream. If you really want to hear, I already have a pathway to do this, by the way. I want a lot of prisoners in Ori. Okay, what am I talking about? Cornell has a program, and I know people doing this program. Hold on. Cornell University has a program, and I have friends who do this program, and anyone actually at Cornell is invited to sort of do this, where you can go teach a class in the prison, and it's an hour away from here. Yeah. So and these people
That's
act
cool.
as
Just go do that. Why do you have to make that into Ori?
Let him talk.
because Joshua, what if what is Ori? Ori is this network of information propagation across all parts of society. Now, what if the presidents of the world or these community members or whatever have a big problem, and they're like, shit, we got to figure out how to solve this problem, and then the person who's connected to Ori, who teach this class at the prison over here, goes and does this thing, and one of the prisoners is like, wait, I was in part of a mafia thing where we had this technique and we did this and was the big plan, and they're like, wait, shit, this is the answer to this thing we're looking for, and then that person takes it, and now we ask this question of like, should you trust prisoners to contribute to science and answer this question? We're like, well, we're not trusting the prisoner. I talked to him and I got information from him, and this information made sense to me, and now we're gonna apply it and try it and see what happens. The only missing piece is like, there's a reason why prisoners don't have internet access. I wondered about that for a long time, and it's because I think you can be like, you don't want people manipulating and like running crime gangs from inside of.
I'd prefer not. Yeah. So that's what this quadrant is about.
But
Stand back.
but Paula,
It's
I think
they're doing work that advances your goals, but you shouldn't give them room to harm you.
Like, Paula, does it make sense why I keep saying I think I found an algorithm or protocol for how to take useful information from even from places where I don't trust?
Yeah.
No, but I see the value, because something that I said before is that sometimes you can trust the worst people in society to be the most honest and insightful, because they are the ones who no longer need to preserve their image. And especially when it comes to things like doing illegal stuff, manipulating people, abusing trust, they are the ones that have the handbook. They are the ones that you should go to. So yes, in some cases, it makes perfect sense that you would talk to these people.
So I guess that's it.
But you have to be careful about
Right.
what you are doing, how you
Right,
work with them,
right.
who you give them access to, and how much power.
So I think maybe this is also the right way to sort of wrap this up or conclude here, which is when I made the original tweet, I said, I don't want to kick this person out of my Ori, and what I meant by that, I should have clarified what that means. When I use the word Ori here, I mean my study group, my watch list. Oh, my Ori is the people that, I remember, Paul, I explained this in your onboarding. I was like, I want you to make this your watch list, basically, and these are the people that you're learning from, or people you think are dangerous, and you are observing them because you want to contain them, or whatever it is. The people who like. So I'm like, okay, and the only thing I'm doing wrong, which I think that's why I didn't want to like get defensive on the internet here, and I think I don't think Teapot is wrong about Defender as stated. Why? Because let's hear them out here. This person may have great capacity for manipulation, okay? Now, if Defender is speaking to that person, even if that person's not in the Discord, now there's a compromise here. Why? Because now let's say Paula comes and says, I want funding for this, or I want to launch this article or whatever, and now my decision to support this or not is now influenced by this person whispering in my ear, and it's going to now sabotage this, or it's going to cause bad things to happen. You need to I basically need to disclose everybody who's whispering in my ear, everybody who's influencing my mind needs to be written down on a list, and that's what I want. That I basically act this way. Just this information isn't clearly legible because I don't have the software to do this. But that's what I was trying to build last year with the startup that I was trying to do. I want software that just shows you who is influencing Defender's mind. Anybody who attempts to influence Defender, even via DM, via real life, via anything, I want you to be aware of that to protect yourself. Think of almost like an STD sort of thing, but with ideas. You should know if I'm going into prison and talking to these people. You should just know that. You should know all of my influences, so you can protect yourself. The final piece is because what happens if I let Brent, who again maybe this great master manipulator, go? What happens next? Now I don't know where he is or what he's doing or who he's talking to. Now when I go on the internet and I talk to Twitter people, how do I know that they're not influenced by Brent? How do I now I don't feel safe anywhere on the internet.
You don't know that
But-
either way.
But you can say that even if you give him access to your network. I mean, you're just giving him another group that he can manipulate.
I think this is the weakest point, but I think my argument is it's this my proof, for example, like how do I know when to trust someone is I see if they do the things that I expect them to, if they're predictable. And I think you might say like, okay, well, he could still be predictable to you, but then behind the scenes, long term, does this other thing. And I say like, okay, that's also possible, but I don't want to live in a world where I can no longer trust anything or anyone, or like know how vast the conspiracy is. I'm going to assume, guys, okay, I am going to assume that I am capable of detecting when either me or my friends and full network are capable of detecting when I am being manipulated.
I want to say something.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm an outsider, but not exactly because I've known you both for a long time. I trust you. I love what you are both working on. But here's what I see from this conversation and the exchanges we've had. I think that you are confused or conflicted, or this is how you seem to me. Because there may be a conflict between what you are trying to do as a person and the kind of skills you want to develop and the projects you want to work on, and what you are trying to do with ORI. And if these two run into conflict, I think that you are prioritizing what you want to do. If you want ORI to be a trust network, you need to protect the network so that there is trust there. But you are allowing in bad actors because you want to observe them so that you increase your own capacity to discern between people. But you are doing this at the risk of ORI, and the people in ORI did not sign up for this, and they may not be aware of this.
That's what I was saying.
So you need to you need to be very clear on what you are trying to do, inform everyone so that people can make informed decisions, because otherwise you're compromising one of your projects so that you benefit as a person, and maybe you can do more good in the future. But again, this feels like me and the people coming in are being sacrificed and not prepared, and we're not warned, and I don't know if we all want to sign up for something that no one told us about.
I think this is right. I think this is accurate. I think it's almost like, you know what it's like? It's like creating a business. Let's say you hear a conspiracy that the Egyptian government works this way, doesn't work this way, and you're like, I'm gonna invest in a business that's gonna do a contract with the Egyptian government just to catch them, and then the business can be destroyed, but I don't care because my goal is to figure it out. And I think you're right. I still want to do the experiment, but I want to do it with, if people are willing to stay, sacrifice with me, or people who want to like volunteer or whatever, they can do that. But I can't let in people on false pretenses.
I think you should take some time to think about this, to think about what you want to do and how much you want your personal mission to align with ORI, and what you want out of the people that you already gathered here, out of the network that you already have. And think about it. Don't make the decision right now. Like, give yourself a few days. Because I feel like you don't want to pass up a personal opportunity for improvement, but you are taking a risk and making everyone else take a risk.
Yeah. I would add on to that, like, whether or not you've explicitly taken it on, you have a responsibility to the people that you've brought into ORI.
Like, retroactively to tell them, what do you mean?
I mean, you've brought these people in, you've created a space where they could work, and yes, you've said it's open, and it's this, and it's that. Do they agree with you fully? Are they fully on board for it being totally open and it's just like signing up for Twitter, or did they believe that they were getting in on something where they could do their research, they were going to get feedback from you, and it was going to help them get, the support and visibility they need for that? Like, it's changed.
Like, I mean, this is the same as like the pitch jam
Yeah. Well, I'm just
thing.
saying you have a responsibility to figure out, are these people who are following you implicitly, are they on board for what you're doing or not? Like, you are the head of Ori, you are the leader, whether you want to be or not. You're the person that put this together. Everyone sees you in that way. And so
And
you
your
have a
network is not like
responsibility.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Your network is not like Twitter. You already have leverage. You already
Right.
have trust. You have a good badge of honor that you pin on people who may or may not deserve it. And again, as I think Joshua said, that you can cheapen the value of the badge of honor
Yeah.
if you are not careful about who you give it to.
Yeah. I'm just saying, from where I sit, you have a responsibility to the people in Ori right now to get clear with them on, hey, do you still want to be here? This is what I'm trying to do with it. And I agree with Paula. I say, take a couple days, take the weekend to kind of soul search and reflect on what do you want to do here, and then be excessively clear with the people who are still in the group about what that is.
Okay, I appreciate this, and I think I want to just record my like current feeling and then reflect
Sure.
on it a few days later.
Sure.
But my current feeling is, out of all the things happening, the thing I want to do the most is write my, I've been calling it the ABU book, which is this little booklet. It's going to be a small thing, and what that is and like forget everything else. Why? Because this is a DIY kit for running this protocol or algorithm that I'm describing. And then Ori, this specific Discord that I have, I wanna say, guys, this is an experiment. There is it's like when they have like a new drug and it might cure your terminal illness, but it also might kill you, and you're already gonna die anyway. So if you are willing to take that risk, come on board. There may be good things that happen to you, but it's actually very dangerous. So please don't join my Discord here. Now there's other people who love the Ori idea, and they have other Discords, and they've like taken that, and Defender's not running that, and then other people are running that, and you can go do that. And then I focus on my work, which is about analyzing communities and like tools to analyze communities. And the only reason I'm in certain communities I'm running, like I started, like I got to running communities because I started in other people's communities, and I started playing with like, hey, how do I make this better? And then I started figuring out ways to make it better, and then people were like, hey, you're really good at this, you should run this. And I'm like, okay, more chance for experiment. I think Paula's right. Like I use things for, I use opportunities for personal improvement, personal advancement, and that has risks, and I'm willing to take those risks, which is fine, but not everyone.
Well, it has risks to you, but it also has risks to the people that trust you.
I know.
You're saying trust me or not.
Also, you don't have to be the sacrificial lamb, because if people are counting on you, you have an extra responsibility to be very careful
It's
about
actually
the risks
irresponsible.
you take and why you take them.
Like people are depending on me. Like it's one thing for me to like, I don't know, burn down my house, but it's another thing to burn down the houses of all my neighbors because I was.
It's not just that. Your house is not just a random house. Your house is the house that connects the neighborhood. If your house, because if you fuck this up, you can also fuck up the network, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
But there's another weird thing that popped in my head. Can I say, or do you want to say something else?
No, I'm done here. Yeah.
If you want to create a network where people trust each other, maybe at one point you want to allow bad actors in to test the quality of the network. Because something happens in some groups is that if people can infiltrate your network and you have no idea that there are traitors amongst you, there's a huge problem with your network. And this happened in research. With feminism studies, I think. Someone wrote some bullshit study about feminism with BS claims, and it got through, and it was published, which made everyone question the validity of an entire field. Because if these people are bullshitting you and you have no idea, how should anyone trust you and why? So if you want to build a network of people where there is high trust but also high discernment, you may need to let bad actors infiltrate, but you need to know who they are. They need to know that eventually it can happen, and you need to figure out who is speaking up on the problem, who is picking up the bad vibes, and then those people should become the ones that you trust more, because it will be a test. But again, people need to be aware.
I agree. I agree with all this, and I really appreciate this. And I think there's a lot of I thought, okay, and this is why Leanne's question to me last night was so meaningful, because she said, "Have you created a community?" And then when I were talking about like the payment stuff, she was like, "Have you created a community or company or whatever where people feel safe giving you feedback?" And I was like, "Of course, that's all I talk about." I'm like, "People, please give me feedback." But then like, no, apparently people have not been giving me feedback because they haven't felt safe, or they haven't felt comfortable. So then the only I think the real answer is sort of like, I don't know that it's actually safe to give feedback unless I see people doing it, and you can test it. You can sort of like do a thing and see if people will complain about it. And if they don't complain about it, you say, "Guys, nobody complained about this thing which is hurting you. Do you guys not notice that it's hurting you, or do you guys not care, or what happened here?" And then when we study that, but there's a way to do that ethically. And it's the same thing with the other thing with bad actors in research and in the community. And no, I agree.
As an
Okay,
outsider,
I think this is it. Yeah.
as an outsider, I feel like I need to tone myself down, because you have a community of trust, but also positivity. So I also feel like I need to hold back when it comes to feedback, because you create trust, but if you create trust and positivity, anyone that has criticism may feel like I'm ruining the vibe. And this is exactly what I felt in your private Twitter group. And this is why I left.
This is interesting. I mean, we can talk about this more next time, but I'll just say, I think, I know I want an orientation, a compass towards positivity, but not fake. And I think when people, I just think it's a responsibility, and it's a hard thing also when people bring up flaws, which is why I just think people like Paula take on a burden, an undue burden, because it doesn't, unless we balance it, unless it gets rewarded. But we want things to get better, and part of that is pointing out flaws. Pointing out flaws feels bad, but it leads to things getting better long term. So we wanna have a positivity bias, but real clarity, and not delusional, is what I want. And I think testing it is the way. Because I think it's very bad that people like Paula just leave, and then we all just kind of sit there, and then the defender says, "Hey, let's do this," and everyone's like, "Great, let's do it," and then it blows up, and I was like, "Why didn't anyone give me any real feedback?" And they're like, "Well, I believe because they all want to support, because I have this push." That's why Paula, Ben G is the other person, right? Who's the only other person right now in the server who's like Paula, who loves what I do, but will say that doesn't make any sense. I love that you're excited about it, but you're wrong. And then the only thing that I have to do then is listen and respond to that and not dismiss that. I think. I don't know, but this is it. I feel good about this. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other last words, but we have the recording, and I'm around.
Yeah, I wanted to get into gender wars.
Oh yeah, next time.
Maybe we can have you back on, Paula.
Yeah, no, sure. If Paula was willing to stick around, Ori or or something adjacent to Ori, I don't know, or just Joshua. It's gonna be outside of Ori also. I'm looking forward to it. All right, thanks, guys.
We'll stay in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.